Perfect. So, good morning and thank you for being here. And I will now guide you through a trip on how to achieve true immersion with Audioscenic Amphi high-D technology. So I hope you enjoy the slides that I'm going to go through now. So what is true immersion? This is a question that many of us working in spatial audio ask about ourselves, okay? And what we have in Audioscenic is a technology that just with speakers in front of the user allow us to hear sound all around us, like fully 3D, above us and behind us, okay? So this is what happens in a simplistic realization when we use our technology, okay? How do we achieve this? We achieve this with the use of machine learning, with the use of beamforming, and with the use of crosstalk cancellation, okay? And let's for 1 second go back and revisit how we normally consume spatial audio in our everyday. So we have a binaural signal that consists of left and right spatial audio channels. And for example, a very common use when we use that is when we are playing a video game that is an FPS. And in the FPS game, there is a game engine that gives us spatial sound that we consume with headphones. So we have these left and right signals that are delivered through headphones. Another very common use case is when we listen to Apple Music with spatial audio that has embedded Dolby Atmos. Thanks to the headphones, we are able to listen to sound all around us, okay? What we do in Audioscenic is to use this beamforming that creates two beams of sound that render these binaural signals straight to our ears. And then we apply crosstalk cancellation that will cancel the crosstalk of any of these beams into the opposite ear, so that the left signal is transferred to our left ear with a left beam, and that the right signal is transferred to our right ear with the right beam. And apart from that, we basically tag this beamformer to a machine learning based listener position sensing, so that if the user moves, these beams follow the user, okay? So what does this give us in reality? It gives us freedom, and freedom is that a user can be in front of a device using Audioscenic Amphi technology and can move to one side, to the other side, can move forward, can move backward, and always having this left beam and this right beam that are going to give them the accurate audio cues. And this, in the end, is what we say accuracy. Accuracy to have the feeling that sounds are all around us, that we have a very natural 3D representation just with the speakers in front of the user, okay? But what is true immersion and how can we achieve true immersion? So in this graph, we see here a head-related transfer function, an HRTF, of a source that is 45 degrees to my head. And what we can see is that the left channel, the intensity, is much higher than the right channel because of the shadowing of the head, okay? And this is all an audio frequency spectrum, which is very important for a user to really have good spatial audio, okay? And if we look farther here, we see a region, a low frequency, which is the ITD region, where ITD stands for interaural time differences. This region is what allows a user, a person, to localize his sound and where sound is coming on the horizontal plane, because the brain is analyzing the time difference that the sound takes from arriving to our left ear or our right ear. If we go farther up in frequency, there's another region where we receive ILD, interaural level differences. And that means that the brain is able to understand the level in intensity difference between one ear and the other ear. And just imagine, for example, that I have a sound very close here to my left ear. The brain is going to know that the sound is much louder here than here, and therefore is going to say, oh, this sound is very close to us. And finally, there is this notch around 8K that this is the effect of the peanut. This is due to the asymmetricity of our ear, and the brain is using this information to know if a sound is in front of us, if a sound is above us, or if a sound is behind us. So with this graph, what we want to show here is that if we want to achieve true immersion, and when we say true immersion is give a natural sound experience as we hear in real life, we need to control very well all this frequency range, okay? But how do we achieve this through speakers in front of the user? This is with the Amphi high-D technology, where high-D stands for high dimensional audio, comes into place. And what we see here in this graph is something called CTC, the crosstalk cancellation spectrum. When we are trying to deliver a spatial audio with speakers, what we do is that we need to separate the signals that arrive to one ear and to the other ear. So what we see here is an acoustic pressure difference. The higher is this, the better I'm going to have a virtual headphone effect when I have speakers in front of us where we can separate both signals. And as a reference, we have here what is a stereo. This is what, if I would put my left channel with a set of stereo speakers, the channel difference that will separate. So what we see here, if I go to the previous slide, is that if I only use two speakers, I'm only able to control a narrow frequency range of the spectrum. But the more speakers that I add in a beamforming, what constitutes a multi-channel loudspeaker array, the more able I'm going to separate left and right binaural signals that arrive with a system, and the better I'm going to be able to reproduce all this HRTF, and the better I'm going to be able to achieve true immersion. Okay? So this is very important, and this is something that can be done with Audioscenic Amphi high-D technology, and that now gives us the ability to have full spatial audio in a wide set of applications. And just imagine applications where we have speakers in front of the users. Like, for example, displays with embedded speakers, notebooks that have speakers and that could have a multi-channel array here, soundbars that already have multi-channel arrays based on our technology, or automotive, okay? And in terms of use cases, this has lots of advantage. Just imagine, for example, that we are playing an FPS and that instead of using headphones, we use a system that has a speaker array that are delivering us binaural audio through this. This is going to give us an externalization which is going to be much greater than that if we're in headphones and are going to immerse us into the video game. Or for example, media consumption. A very common media consumption is, for example, we are listening to music in Tidal or in Apple Music. We are watching YouTube that very soon is going to have also spatial audio embedded on it. And what we want is to really be in the middle of this production that has done in an Atmos studio. So again, by using Audioscenic Amphi technology, we can have a real representation of ourselves being inside this room. And more use cases, as for example, teleconferencing. Teleconferencing clients like Microsoft Teams or Zoom are now embedding spatial audio. Spatial audio that what give us is the ability to connect more with the people in the other side of the call and to prevent us from being like a fatigued after having hours and hours of call, okay? Giving us a much greater engagement with the other side of the call. And finally, automotive. You know, like if you see the most recent automotive trends, cars are having headrest speakers. By using headrest speakers and using the Audioscenic Amphi high-D technology, one of the things that we can have is that every user in the car can consume spatial audio, okay? And apologies for this video, it's a bit staggering. But just imagine this, in normal cars we only have a sweet spot. By using headrest speakers and this technology, everybody in the car can have their own spatial audio experience, okay? And by pushing this forward, what we do is that we follow our vision, the vision of Audioscenic, which is to be the trailblazing technology makers behind personalized immersive sound, offering a hyper-real listening experience in a multitude of everyday situations and environments, okay? And this is our technology. If you have any questions, please grab me at one of the coffee breaks or whenever, and I will be more than happy to tell you anything you want to know, okay? Thank you.